Mazel morons, welcome back to the Good Guys podcast. I'm sitting here with the guy who screwed up that cybersecurity thing that basically just screwed every Microsoft computer on earth. It's Ben Zofran.
I fell asleep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was all manual. I fucked up. Blame me.
Dude.
Blame me. You know, honestly, that's a perfect segue because on a sister show of ours, I'll call it The Toast, every single time there's an audio problem, they blame me. Josh, I don't know if you know this. They're like, Ben records Good Guys and he fucks up the whole studio. And it's like, no, actually, like you guys just fucked up yourself. I am a proud renter of the studio. I've never touched a thing. Now, on the flip side, I do want to shout out quickly Jackie Oshray, for those that don't know, co-star of The Toast, my sister-in-law, has been baking a sourdough, Josh, every single day that we've been here. I have had fresh bread every day. She went from just the classic sourdough to she perfected it. She is now starting to incorporate things like cinnamon, sugar, and raisins.
Wow.
I'm eating
Jewish.
I'm eating a cinnamon sugar raisin sourdough that is so unbelievably delicious. And now you're going to think at home, Ben, don't chew. You're recording a podcast. Don't chew. I just want you to hear. Can you hear this? Did you hear that?
Not a thing.
Cool. Well, it was fucking delicious. And if you could hear it, if you could see it, if you could taste it, I'm going to swallow this.
Did you think I was supposed to hear it? I feel very much put on blast.
I thought maybe there was like a little bit of a crunch. Like maybe you'd hear like a...
Right. A sourdough.
Oh, so good. Yes, totally. There, maybe perhaps it's, I don't know. So good. So good. So just wanted to publicly, what is it? What is that called? When you give somebody like a compliment, give them their what?
Flowers.
Flowers. Thank you, Josh. I wanted to give her flowers on sourdough. And Josh, if you want a loaf, she's making loaves and shipping them. We'd be happy to ship you a loaf.
Like, is she just shipping them as like a bit of a mitzvah, a lovely piece of charity, or is she charging?
Love. She hasn't shipped a loaf yet, but she's been giving out loaves. Like, as a thank you, she hands somebody a loaf. Imagine that. Somebody hands you a full loaf that they made.
That's huge.
Huge. It's a 24-hour process.
That's Amish coded, and I'm here for it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if you were like, I just want to thank you. Here's a quart of milk from my cow.
No, it's amazing. It is Amish coded, and she is milking her own cows, and that's how she's making this bread. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And it tastes so good. So the flowers have been given. And that is that. The Toast never gives us flowers, Josh. They don't.
I mean, I do love that Jackie Oshrey's on a show called The Toast, and she's making bread.
Ooh, true.
But Marshall, since you have a vendetta against delicious things, what are your feelings about sourdough bread?
No, it's the best bread.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best. It's salty. It's so good. Going to Disneyland or it's California Adventure, I think, and they have like the sourdough factory. For some reason, that was life-changing growing up. So good.
What about a bread bowl? How do we feel about that with like some sort of soup in it?
Love it when it gets mushy.
I love it too.
Ugh.
Hang on. I'm swallowing the last piece of bread.
It's the texture. It's the mix of texture.
Okay, I've swallowed. I love a bread bowl. That said, there's something like some things belong in bread bowls, some things don't. Okay? I think a bread bowl for soup is nuts. Totally nuts to eat hot soup out of a bread bowl because any error, you're relying on a perfect loaf, Josh. A perfect loaf. Not a single hole, not nothing. Or otherwise you get boiling hot soup just pouring out of the bread bowl. I prefer a little spinach artichoke dip in a bread bowl. Fantastic. A dip.
The problem to me though is like, if you're smart, you can be consuming bread bowl as the soup slowly recedes. You can't like, dip is so calorically dense that bread bowl is purely for aesthetics.
Mm-hmm. It's true. You're right.
Can you imagine cleaning out? Can you imagine cleaning out a sourdough bread bowl that was full of spinach artichoke dip? You'd have to call the police.
You would. No, it's way too much. Way too calorically dense. Too much. It honestly, I've been meaning to bring this up because I'm cooking every single day and I'm noticing I'm trying not to waste, Josh, but inevitably there will be waste. And this is not my what are you nuts. This is just something that is nuts that I've been noticing is the people who work in herbs, right? Let's say a dill. I love dill. The way that they sell dill is by the bushel. You're buying a bushel of dill. And dill, you do not need a bushel of dill for anything. That amount of dill is for like 200 dishes. You need a little dill. It's a very powerful herb. And dill only lasts like 2 days in your fridge. So you're buying this dill, then you got to throw it all away. Same thing with scallions. Same thing with chives. They're giving too much. Too much. I don't know if this is interesting, but there's a lot of waste.
I think you bring up a great point. First of all, how come there's no dill brand called Delicious? Secondly,
There should be.
Green onions, I think, can go further. My wife will fuck up a bunch of green onions and throw them in like a Thai peanut noodle thing.
Yum. Yum.
Oh my God. Marshall over there is like, when can I come over? I mean, this would be a vegan delicacy.
Get in line, Marshall. Hans is tonight. Magnus is tomorrow. You can come on Thursday.
But what I'm trying to think of, because you bring up a great point, and I'm trying to think of what is there too much of that gets sold that you wind up always having to throw half of it away. I'm trying to think.
It's vegetables. It's those herbs. Like
Right.
Nobody ever goes through herbs fast enough. It's impossible because vegetables are a little bit different. Like carrots, you could always just make more carrots.
Right.
In order to proportionally have the amount of dill to use before it goes bad, you would need to make like 50 pounds of potatoes. Like just too much. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. It's crazy amount of herbs.
It's big herb.
What have you like? So you've been eating this fresh sourdough bread. That's
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Do you guys, so in addition to being like completely homebody, Hamptons, suburbia, bucolic, are you tearing it up? Are you going to the surf lodge? Are you guys doing any cliche Hamptons activities?
We went to the surf lodge one time. Did we talk about that event?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, if we did, I apologize for having brain damage. And in case we didn't, we went to surf lodge once. We are mainly being homebodies, Josh, mainly homebodies. I somehow here have lost 5 pounds just by eating everything that I'm cooking. I'm eating, I'm cooking, I'm eating. I'm not dieting. I'm not doing anything. I think just not eating out, not partying, not drinking too much. But our one day at surf lodge, Kate Hudson performed.
Wow.
That's a what are you nuts? Nuts. She was pretty good, but she sounded like Sheryl Crow. Like I just like
That's
wasn't in the
saying
mood
something.
for that
Sheryl
vibe.
Crow is a national treasure.
She is, but like when you're trying to like rage, you don't want Sheryl Crow. There's a time and a place, and like I just wasn't feeling it. But she was fantastic. You know who was there, Josh? I looked out of the corner of my eye. Jeremy Piven. He was there just watching, and then all of a sudden I watched him take a phone call, and I'm like, oh, he really is Ari Gold. He was on the phone for an hour and 15 minutes during Kate Hudson.
That tracks.
But we ripped. We had a great time. Partied.
Let me ask you
Came
this.
back.
Was Jeremy Piven wearing statement clothes? I imagine him in bracelets. I think he's wearing a statement glasses and very
Yes.
well-groomed facial hair.
Yes. That's exactly what he looked like.
Yes.
I think maybe the facial hair was a little bit shorter, but he was wearing like big borderline Carreras, like that type of sunglasses.
Sure.
Yeah, he looked great. He looked fantastic. Kate Hudson, she sounded great again. Wasn't in the mood for Sheryl Crow, but she sounded great. Gwyneth Paltrow was there as well. This is a real who's who. Who's who.
It was just
But
a
otherwise, we're-
random night at Surf Lodge. Is it that
Yeah.
bougie?
Yeah, it's that bougie. It's that bougie.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and it's crazy what Surf Lodge has become. Also, like my parents used to take me to Montauk like 20 years ago, and it used to be like the bummy beach, just like part of the Hamptons, where like nobody went. Like it was just motels, and we'd get a motel, and we'd go to the beach, and it was fun and chill and whatever. And the Surf Lodge was just like this rinky-dink motel. It's not on the beach; it's on a lake. It's like, or like not even a lake. It's like on a pond. And like the way that they've been able to turn what is like a Motel 6 into the who's who of who's who clubs is fascinating.
I mean, I don't mean to be such a contrarian, and both of you boys, please feel free to call me out. But like, I don't I understand you guys being like one night out of your beautiful Hamptons trip. Yeah, like we got to do it. Let's go. But the people that regularly would go to a surf lodge or are traveling to the Hamptons to be able to go to these hot places where they're going to be seen, like, I don't know how to have fun in these places. I would not have fun.
They're not built for you anymore. They're not even built for me anymore. Like that person is Marshall. That person is
That's right. Nice and shallow. No, I'm kidding.
No. It's built for the like wants to be in the scene 21 to 28-year-old. Like that's really who these clubs are built for. They're like wants to get fucked up and wants to have a good time and wants to have something to post on Instagram and like they wants to be in the scene.
But then why is Gwenyth Paltrow there and Kate Hudson and Jeremy Piven?
I think that Kate Hudson was there to promote an album. That's why she was singing.
Okay.
And I think that Gwenyth Paltrow and Jeremy Piven probably came because they're friends with Kate Hudson to support their friend. And for like the excuse of, oh, I get to go to Surf Lodge this one time this summer. I think it was a coincidence.
Gotcha.
Or they frequent. I have no clue. I highly doubt that they frequent.
I just find like the way I'm going to have the most fun is at some like random bowling alley bar with a bunch of characters, you know, or like that like hole in the wall can only fit 25 people karaoke bar that we went to with Claudia when I was in the city last. Like that to me is a great time.
I couldn't agree more. It's the best. But one more, but quick shout out. Anderson Paak came on after Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
And that man can boogie. Oh, can he boogie? Like, I'm telling you, Josh, you would have loved him. He only DJs on vinyl, so talented, and he just plays the tunes. Like, he's not afraid to play Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, he knows that, like, the white people are ready to start clapping like they're at a bar mitzvah. Like, this is what they want. He knows what the people want, and he plays it. Ooh, I was about to say he was a slay.
It was a movie.
Last night was a movie.
Anderson Paak.
Last night was a movie.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I hate it.
So cringe.
It's the worst, man. And I don't know, like that's a good question, right? Because I look at, except for Marshall, Gen Z as just cringy as fuck. Like I don't know, and maybe that is the old. And I try to keep it in check because I never want to be the old man screaming down at the generation after me, going like, "You kids don't get it." But like Marshall, do you look at that way? Do you look at like Zoomers, like at 17-year-old kids going like, ugh, like your style sucks?
No,
like,
I've had the same sentiment as you, where I'm like, I cannot be the hater. I didn't like in 2020 with like the rise of Gen Z when it was like hate on every little thing that they do.
right,
I was like, you just never want to turn into that person.
right.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by Philadelphia Cream Cheese. If there's anyone that knows creamy, it's me. No, I'm kidding. It's Philadelphia Cream Cheese. It's extremely versatile and can be used to enhance any meal, snack, or anything in between. Philadelphia makes everything creamier. Look, of course, when you think Philadelphia, you think cream cheese, you think bagels, you think lox, you think all those delicious things. I'm here to tell you that you've been undersold on Philadelphia cream cheese, okay? Philadelphia makes everything creamier, whether that's sauces, whether that's dips, whether that's macaroni and cheese. If you haven't tried using cream cheese as a base for your macaroni and cheese, you are absolutely missing out. If you haven't tried making a dip for crudité using cream cheese, you're absolutely missing out. It makes everything creamier and more delicious because Philadelphia is the creamiest. They're the king of cream cheese. So, folks, Philadelphia makes everything creamier. Visit creamcheese.com for recipe inspiration and so you can start adding Philadelphia to your recipes at home. They have the URL creamcheese.com. What more do you need to know? Visit creamcheese.com. Check out all their recipes, dips, mac and cheese, of course, the bagel, lox, and cream cheese, an absolute staple. But use it, have fun with it. Use creamcheese.com for inspiration, shop Philadelphia cream cheese, and go to creamcheese.com for inspo. You can make desserts with cream cheese. I'm on creamcheese.com right now. They have a 3-step cheesecake, looks divine. How about a chocolate cookie no-bake cheesecake? Recipes galore at creamcheese.com using Philadelphia. So versatile, so creamy. Everyone's going to love them. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Built Rewards. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments? I know I do. Just watching your money vanish into thin air? It's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Built Rewards comes in. People often throw shade on renting, calling it a bad long-term deal. But what if I told you that with Built Rewards, your rent money isn't just paying the landlord, it's secretly plotting to fund your future dream home. Built's got the inside scoop on turning your rent into a legit investment in your home ownership journey. Okay, real talk, we've all been there, feeling like we're burning cash with those rent checks. It's frustrating, right? But here's the deal. Built Rewards has figured out a way to make rent more rewarding. Say goodbye to the money bonfire and hello to a renter's revolution with Built. Built is breaking ground as the first rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Even if you're still rocking the old school rent check vibes, Built Rewards has got your back. They'll mail the check for you. It's like having a personal rent-paying assistant. Every month, pay your rent and watch your Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or a hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. Use your points to sweat it out. Redeem your points to book fitness studio classes. You can also use your points towards a future rent payment or toward a future down payment on a home. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built Rewards have been constantly ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent now when you go to joinbuilt.com/goodguys. That's JOINBILT.com/goodguys. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/goodguys to start earning points with your rent payments today.
It's so hard.
Marshall, are you not Gen Z?
I am. So I guess we, not they.
But
Okay, I was just making sure.
You're on the border, right?
I am
you're-
like the oldest. So I was born in 1997, and that's like the cutoff. So I'm the dad of the Gen Z group, the oldest of
97. What a great year.
Great year, right? Odd number.
Great year to be living.
97.
Great year to be alive.
What did
Yeah.
that look like for you? What were you, 5, Ben?
I was 5. What a year. So good.
Jeez, 5 years old.
On the scene of it all, Ben, you in the city, and Josh, you in LA, do you go to like the sceney places, like the places that you see TikToks about, or is it like avoid at all costs?
I think that I speak for both Josh and I, where we love food. Like, we're going to go to the trendiest restaurant we possibly can. The hope is that we're not losers and late and that we hit it before there's a TikTok about it.
Yeah.
That's always the hope. But
Right.
like from a scene perspective, like I want to try if you're telling me that this is the best cannoli you've ever had in your life, you better believe I'm going to go.
Yeah, but I'm going to go at 11:30 when they open for lunch and sit at the bar alone.
Yeah, no, I'm not waiting in a line. I'm not waiting in a line for
Never,
the
ever.
fad. But for a great restaurant, love it. Love it.
There are places that are only sceney for sceney's sake.
Mhm.
And then there's like in LA, we have this place, Giorgio Baldi, which is like very solid, very good, overpriced, but it's like great Italian food. It's literally a block away from the ocean. It's kind of like a hidden gem of a place. And there's famous people there a couple times a week. And you could go there on a night where it's like surf lodge level. You're eating menagot with frickin' Jeremy Piven. Okay. And
Rihanna loves it.
Rihanna loves it. It's still, but you know what it is? It's delish and it serves its purpose. And like you go in, there's never a line because there's reservations that are really hard to get, but it's standard restaurant fare. You go in, you sit down, you eat food. Maybe you see some famous people. The food is really, really good. And then you leave. I have all the time in the world for that because it just happens to be that famous people like it and it's good.
Mhm.
I don't have time for like
catch.
Yeah.
I have the prime examples. Scene for Scene's sake is the absolute worst. There's a place out here in the Hamptons called the Golden Pear. There's like 6 of them.
That's what they call me. That's what they call me on Grindr. Sorry, guys.
In every Hampton, there's a Golden Pear. And I see the influencers, they'll like go in, they'll get this sandwich, they'll taste it, and they'll say, "Ooh, that is so good, the Golden Pear." And it's like, no, it tastes like shit. I tried it. It's bad. The coffee, Josh, is so bad. So bad. And it's like, it just became a name, but a name for a name's sake is terrible. Terrible. And while I'm on this tangent, Claudia, my wife, loves just like a pretty, sceney restaurant. She does not care one bit if the food is edible, if the restaurant is fun. And all I have to say is, oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm the polar opposite. Give me the worst experience of my life. Let the food be great. Food needs to come first. It must.
If we were all opening up a restaurant, give me your 3 appetizers, 3 entrees, and 2 desserts.
3, 3, and 2.
Yeah, for Ben Restaurante, for Marshall's Place, and for Joshy's Cabin.
Okay. We're going to go with a Caesar.
Right.
Because I think because we've spoken about this before, a tableside Caesar. All right, fine, we'll just do tableside.
Great.
No, a tableside Caesar. Fantastic. I love a nice, great, fresh tuna tartare. Delish. And then I'm going to go with a crazy one here, but I don't want it to be too heavy to start. I'm going to go with a delicious stuffed artichoke. Like meaty, peel it off with your teeth, get to the bottom, eat the heart. Fantastic. Those are my apps. On the entree side, I'm going to go with a pasta. Maybe this is like a mid-course. Not too heavy. Maybe like a cacio e pepe. I love. So delicious. Then we're going to go to a steak. I'm going to go with probably a porterhouse is what I'm going to go with. And you're going to absolutely love the filet. And you're going to lightly complain about the strip, but that's just because the filet is better. It doesn't mean that the strip is bad. And then for our last one, fuck. Maybe, I guess some sushi? No, that ruins my vibe. But the vibe of my restaurant is so good. Chicken parm. We're going to go with a chicken parm. And then for dessert, warm apple pie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Pass.
Wow. Marsh, you're up.
Okay. For appetizers, chips and guac. Lots of lime, lots of salt. Thinking like a crudité hummus situation.
Yum.
And then boneless, or no, what am I thinking of? Not boneless wings, cauliflower wings. I went, no bone, 100% no bone, no meat.
Josh, we're gonna run into Marshall, like wearing a mustache, sitting at the bar of McDonald's, just hammering quarter pounders with cheese,
just crushing the rib.
Yeah. You in a trench coat.
Marshall, is that you?
No,
not me. No, speak English.
Okay, so boneless, meatless cauliflower wings. Okay, for the main meal, to go play off, the hummus, the Mediterranean of it all, I think falafel pita wrap, stunning vegetables, hummus, things like that. You can put the hummus from your appetizer in the pita, And then, like, my favorite dish, when anyone asks of all time, is a chana masala. It's like the chickpea masala.
Yum.
And so it doesn't fit really with the rest of the food, but
delicious though.
And then, how do I get people to show up with a dessert of mine? Let's go some like donuts. Vegan donuts. Josh?
Okay. Mine is first a Japanese Caesar salad, which is done at probably my favorite steak restaurant in LA called Matu by the great Jerry Greenberg. Shout out, good friend of my friend Jordan Oken of the Air Jordan Food Podcast. Jerry Greenberg is the genius behind Sugarfish, Kazunori, Hi-Ho Burger, Wolvo Pastas. And so he opened up his flagship steak restaurant in Beverly Hills and they do a Japanese Caesar, and I just like, when I tell you the tang on this dressing, I don't know if it's QP mayo, I don't know what's giving it that, but it's gorgeous. I think he doesn't, honestly, I think they just split an iceberg lettuce in half, and it's just a layer, like almost like a bread and butter, a layer of the dressing over the each half of the iceberg, and then just like a fresh flowering of the most beautiful parm, lightest, just like subtle parm you've ever had over the top of it. So good. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a sushi roll a la Hillstone. So something with either a tuna or a yellowtail or even a shrimp, and a macadamia nut for the crunch, for that crunch. And you know what? I don't care if it gets me canceled. There will be a remoulade. Remoulade. Ooh la la la. Okay? That's what I'm saying. And then for the fat boys, we're doing a not deconstructed, but a high-end spinach artichoke dip that I'm going to get together with some food scientists and also some people who work at like Chili's. I'm going to get a high-end food scientist and like a chef from Chili's to blend their minds. I'm going to make them go on an ayahuasca journey to come up with the perfect high-end, low-end spinach artichoke dip bong. And there's going to be an assortment of different things for dipping. I'm talking crudité. If Marshall comes, sure, he can't have the dip, but he can eat some carrots, some fried pitas, some fresh chips, like beyond. For the mains, I hear you on the cacio pep, although a little part of me feels like cacio pep is done so much nowadays. I'm just not sure. I think you do fresh made rigatoni, and you do a very simple, but like the best ever, like vongole, like oil, a little bit of parsley, garlic, pepper, just like
delish,
salt.
light,
simple, light, beautiful. Then we're doing a Snake River ribeye, okay? But not like the one that we almost bought for $900.
I didn't say, I didn't realize our budgets were unlimited.
We're doing Snake River ribeye, maybe not the one that they had at Major Food Group, but a lower end, still great. And it's a ribeye, and it's going to be sliced up with the cap, or maybe we do we do a porterhouse? The porterhouse has the bone down the middle, right? That's like the way they do it at
The problem with the porterhouse is sort of as advertised. The fillet side is so good, and the strip side is so normal that like after you've had the fillet, you don't even want the strip. That's my only problem with it.
Is that what they do at Luger's?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe you do a ribeye, but you do the ribeye and you do the ribeye cap, sliced, done, little Malden sea salt finishing. And then agreed with you, we do, now do I copy you and do a parm, or do I do, we don't have a seafood. Maybe we need a seafood.
We could. A little clams casino.
Oh, Vasemir, if only in a world. Because, you know, like you could do like a beautiful calamari. You could do, wait. I mean, this is another pasta, but you could do a frutta da mare, a cioppino, like a beautiful cioppino in the tomato bouillabaisse with the bread, the sourdough spears fucking flipping out, giving the finger to everyone at the table with those sourdough spears, and the clams and the calamari and the you get it. And then here's my dessert. Ready? Homemade Swedish inspired gummies. Homemade Swedish inspired gummies. The waiter comes with a tray, and it's like you're at Sweet Factory, and you're giving your own little tongue, and he's got sour strips, he's got gummies.
So good.
And you're just taking a couple, and then he goes, hold on, and he gives you a little bag and goes, take a couple for the road, for the drive home.
Wow.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
So good. You know how much I love a sour straw? So delicious. So good.
Agreed.
So good. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Caraway. You guys know I love Caraway. Love it. I've been on my cooking journey, 4th of July. It's the talk of the town. It's the talk of the town. And anytime I'm cooking anything in a pan, on a stove, in my house, I am using Caraway. Caraway, the best pans. Non-toxic, easy cooking, well-loved. 65,000 people have rated it 5 stars. That's a lot of people. I love their pans. They're fantastic. Last night, my wife and her sister had a big show, big theater, glitz, glam. It was everything. We finished the show. We came home. Jackie said to me, I want a grilled cheese. I said, okay. I went to the grocery store, picked up bread. I picked up eggs too to make myself an egg and cheese, but that's fine. Egg and cheese for me, grilled cheese for them. Eggs, American cheese, butter, bread, delicious, delicious bread. Came home, whipped out my Caraway, and made just the most unbelievable grilled cheese and egg and cheese at 11 o'clock last night. It was a dream. I'm just saying, if it wasn't on a Caraway, it wouldn't have been as good. Highly recommend Caraway. Everybody's loving them because we're ditching the chemicals. Caraway Home's non-toxic kitchenware features a chemical-free ceramic coating so food can be prepared with peace of mind that no hard-to-pronounce chemicals will leak into your healthy ingredients. And just as a reminder, their internet-famous cookware set comes with the sauté pan, love it, fry pan, Dutch oven, and saucepan, plus lids for all of them, a canvas lid holder, and magnetic pan rack for storage. It's the ultimate kitchen setup and will save you $150 versus buying the items individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/guys10, GUYS10, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/guys10 or use code guys10 at checkout. And don't forget to mention that you heard about Caraway from us in their post-purchase survey. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by the McDonald's Quarter Pounder with Cheese. Let's talk about something delicious, something hot and juicy, something cooked when you order, something fit for a good guy. It's the Quarter Pounder with Cheese. It's a burger so iconic that it's simply known as the QPC. Each QPC features a burger that's sizzled on a flat iron grill and then topped with slivered onions, crispy pickles, and 2 slices of melty cheese on a sesame seed bun. I'm salivating just talking about this. I am not doing well. Let's distract ourselves by talking about our ideal moment to savor and enjoy a QPC, which after recording this read, may be the minute we're done recording this episode. I absolutely love recording a QPC when I'm on a long drive. I'm going from the city to the Hamptons. I know, bougie, I'm like that. I'm bougie, So I'm driving out, I'm starving, I'm stopping at the McDonald's roadside, picking it up and enjoying my time. Sitting in a nice air-conditioned car during the summer, eating a QPC is the dream. The car QPC is it, folks. I highly, highly recommend it if you've never tried it. But of course you've tried it. Everybody's tried it. But if you haven't tried it, you should definitely try it. The QPC is a burger that napkins were made for. And as someone who enjoys sauces galore, I feel extremely seen. It's the burger worthy of a nickname. Order the QPC today. Wait before cooking 4 ounces. Fresh beef available at most restaurants in the contiguous U.S. Not available in Alaska, Hawaii, and U.S. territories. You brought up a steak. We both brought up steaks, and it had me realizing something that I wanted to share in a long-form format such as this. I used to, as an inexperienced barbecuer, cook, whatever you call it, I used to take my meat and I used to put like a marinade of like a barbecue sauce or like a mustard or like all loaded up. And I've come to realize that if you want to ruin a piece of steak, you add anything more than salt, pepper, and oil. When that puppy goes down, if it's great meat, salt, pepper, oil. If you want to go crazy, you could throw in a little garlic powder, but that's crazy. Because great meat, you want to taste the great meat. Now, if you're dealing with an inferior cut, sure, load on the Sweet Baby Ray's and let it taste just like Sweet Baby Ray's. But the difference between us and the vegans is that perfect meat, that delicious taste. The fat cap, as you mentioned, Josh, you feel and taste the fat. Otherwise, I might as well be barbecuing cauliflower. Right. Because if you want it to taste like Sweet Baby Ray's, why are you using meat? Mic drop.
Wow. Beautifully said.
Random mic drop that nobody asked for.
Should we get to some stories?
I would love to get to a story.
Well, this one was, thank God she's okay, and I'm qualifying that first, but this was a wild story in the post. My life-altering brain surgery was canceled after Microsoft outage hit hospital equipment. Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. A cancer
horrifying.
patient says surgery to remove a 4-centimeter mass from her brain was canceled this week due to the worldwide IT glitch. And she was told 3 weeks ago a mass had also been found in her brain, and she had weakness on one side. So she was all set to go in the UK for surgery at 10 a.m. And before she was watching TV in the waiting room, and there was news of the Microsoft technology facing outages. And 10 minutes later, her surgeon arrived to explain they relied on that technology for scans, emergency meds, and accessing medical records, and that they would have to wait until it was solved. And and she had to wait a week. But isn't that nuts?
Yes, totally nuts. Very scary. I'm sorry, we're too reliant on technology. Too reliant. Something's going to go wrong. We need to be better.
I mean, that to me, like, especially when you think of like Elon Musk doing like Neuralink and like these things, that it could be affected by that. And all of a sudden you're like you're talking to your friend, you're like, so then I went to Surf Lodge and like, bad.
Yeah. Did I tell the story about when I test drove a BMW in South Carolina? Did I tell this story?
No.
Okay. I promise this isn't just a tangent. It makes sense.
No, I'm a BMW
I was in South
man.
Carolina a month ago, tested a bunch of sick cars. This was like an M6. And like there was a professional driver sitting next to me and I was in the seat next to him. And this guy was flooring it, going like 170, Josh, around like crazy turns, like
right.
really, really like fully on a track. And I turned to him, and I had just watched the Titanic. And I turned to him and I said, how do you know these things aren't going to flip? Like, how are you so confident going 170 around a turn that this thing isn't going to flip? And he said, this thing is built to not flip. It will never flip.
Whoa.
And it just made me think the Titanic was the unsinkable ship, and Neuralink is the technology that won't ever go down. And when human beings make something, it will go bad. It's just a question of when. Like, when will something happen? When? Not if, when.
But think about this, okay?
It will never flip, Josh. Never.
No. Bright side Josh Peck over here, if I may. Say you do have like a Neuralink thing installed in your brain, you know what I mean? And you want to get out of conversations. Your wife is yelling at you. You are at a bar mitzvah that's like taking forever and the kid's Haftorah is totally out of pitch. You fake like you just got a system update and you fucking take a nap for 45 minutes. Your wife's like, you never listen to me. It's over. I mean, it's a pretty good excuse.
Well, that's like my brother-in-law, who you've met. He wears one hearing aid. Sometimes I'll catch him. I'll be like, did you not hear anything that I said? He's like, no. He'll just intentionally not put in the hearing aid when he wants to just disassociate. He has them. He can use them. But just in case he doesn't want to hear, you know, what you have to say, maybe he wants some peace and quiet.
Is he completely deaf in that one ear?
Yeah. Or like 90%.
Does he have a cochlear implant?
We're going to have to ask him. I don't know the exact implant. I just know that the hearing aid came from Costco.
Oh, that's where I'd get mine. I have more questions. Should I need one, but I don't wear them because I'm vain.
Yes.
Should I?
How bad is your hearing? I didn't know.
Don't ask my wife. I mean, I can hear you because I have two headphones like very close to my ears right now.
So, but in both ears you have issues?
I don't hear great.
Okay, I didn't know. How long has this been going on?
What a sweet... Marshall, can we just note how frickin' flippin' sweet this boy is, this Ben? He seems really hurt for me.
Yeah, he went into empathy mode immediately. It was
I
amazing.
would like to know how long. No, it's first empathy and then it's diagnosis. How long?
Ben skips straight over sicko mode and goes straight to empathy mode.
Title.
I'll
How
tell
long has this
you,
been going
my
on?
suspicion is that when I made the great cinematic masterpiece, Red Dawn, in my early 20s, we had to shoot a lot of guns and there were a lot of explosions. And while we wore hearing protection, I remember going home from work one day and just having like a ringing in my ear that didn't go away for a couple days. And ever since then, it's felt like it's slowly kind of degraded. I don't know if it's from that. It might just be my ears.
Okay, two things. One, can we sue Red Dawn?
Who
No?
would
Bad
want to do
question?
that?
I don't know. Okay. Two, have you seen a doctor?
Yes.
Okay, you have. Because they could also be like middle ear infections. There's like some things. Okay, all right, you're going deaf.
Don't say that. God
I would
forbid.
highly recommend that you get something to help you hear for sure.
Okay, cool. So, like, can we? Maybe I could do like a collab, like Josh Peck and Balenciaga, like does like know the
Yes.
like Kirkland Balenciaga like hearing aid. That's hot.
Yeah, you could. It is hot for sure. For sure. It's not going to
Balenciaga.
happen, but it's hot.
Well, who is a couture brand that's on the ropes? Dolce Gabbana.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good question. A couture brand that's on the ropes.
We got to find someone that we can like lift out of obscurity and reignite them. Maybe Coogee, Coogee sweaters. Coogee, a Coogee Josh Peck Kirkland collab. That's fucking
the ear.
hot.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a deal, and we're gonna get you free hearing aids.
Yeah.
If you're
And
you're the head of a big hearing aid company,
our slogan
come
will
to
be
Josh.
Our slogan will be you heard. Hey,
By the way,
you heard.
be honest, Josh. Are you only pretending to have a hearing aid problem so you can get one of those once in a lifetime deals with a hearing aid company?
I mean, I'm down to clown. I don't think I'd say no, but no. I mean, it's not impacting my life in a negative way, other than my wife gets very annoyed with me.
It could be too niche, but I know that we share this. Like, we both think that this is very funny. Like when certain brands like are looking for people to do deals with, it's very rare that you're going to find the person that like actually has the asthma to advertise the asthma medicine. But when you have the ailment that they're trying to promote, oh, there's nothing sweeter because those people pay.
Yeah, let's put it on record here. God willing, we've got some pharma reps listening of like our ailments that we feel, and don't lie, just be straight up. Like, I will be honest. I've had childhood asthma since I was 3. I have mild to severe asthma, depending on the time of year, still at 37. Also, I take a sprinkling of antidepressant every day. I take allergy pills. What else? Oh, I'm on cholesterol meds and I can't hear. Marshall?
Okay, I'm rock solid mentally, but I have scoliosis and and a nicotine addiction.
Any vapes? Someone hit them up.
Help.
The scoliosis is interesting, Marshall. My dad has bad scoliosis. If you ever need somebody to talk to, see, empath. Allergy meds, Zyrtec every single day. Flonase up the nose. I have some sinus problems. I've recently started a rinse. I've spoken about my usage of the Navage before. Love
Yes.
the Navage.
Listen,
it's like a neti pop, but it's
Navage
automated.
does not have Pfizer money. Do not bring up Navage again.
Okay, fine. But I put in drops that go into your inhaler, Josh. Albuterol. Yes, and they open up my sinuses and I can breathe. What else do I have?
I'm a big antihistamine Zyrtec guy too. Love it.
Love.
Flonase,
Love.
gorgeous.
It's fantastic. I love a Dramamine. Dramamine's fantastic. Oh, Josh, hilarious story. Claudia just did 2 shows last week and she was really nauseous. And she asked somebody like before the show, can you get me a Dramamine? Make sure that it's non-drowsy because I have a show. And they brought it to her. She's like, this is non-drowsy, right? Took it. 35 minutes later, she's asleep.
Because I don't think that exists. A non-drowsy Dramamine.
There is non-drowsy Dramamine.
Oh.
It does exist. This person picked up. She was asleep. She woke up like an hour before the show, chugged a Red Bull, and like somehow pulled it together. But she was basically poisoned. That said, Dramamine, fantastic.
Dramamine, fantastic. I have Zofran ready to go at any time. You know this? This Zofran? You know this?
I know the Zofran. I know it. Zofran is definitely better than Dramamine.
It's an anti-nausea med, and I have some because your boy gets nausea every now and then. And let me tell you, I would imagine that having it is like when people who have panic attacks have, Valium or Xanax with them and they never take it, but just knowing they have it, like knowing I have an escape from nausea if and when the couple times a year it hits me, I never use it, but it like makes me feel good to know I have it.
Did I ever teach you my nausea trick?
With the wrist.
I did. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. For anybody that doesn't know, you have a pressure point in your wrist, okay? You feel nauseous. That's why they sell like those like bands when you're on a cruise where you can like put the band on your wrist. It's really just hitting the pressure point. Take your hand and put it on your wrist. Squeeze tight, 25 seconds, let go. No more nausea. Who needs Zofran? Who needs Dramamine? You just need the good old hands God gave you on the good old wrist God gave you.
Well, did you know that a New Jersey man flies to Florida to attack another player over an online gaming dispute, deputies say? In Fernandina Beach, Florida, an online gaming dispute made its way to the real world when a New Jersey man flew to Florida to attack another player with a hammer. Edward Kang, 20, is charged with attempted second-degree murder and armed burglary with a mask, according to Nassau County court records. He was arrested early Sunday morning. I just want to let you know this is a weird one, Nassau County Sheriff Bill Leeper said during a news conference. Some things you can't make up. Kang and the victim, another young man around the same age as Kang, had never met in real life, but they both played Archage, a medieval fantasy multiplayer online role-playing game. Kang flew from Newark, New Jersey to Jacksonville, Florida last Thursday after telling his mother that he was going to visit a friend that he'd met while playing a video game. Officials didn't say how Kang learned where the victim lives, but upon arrival, he took an Uber to a hotel about 35 miles north of Jacksonville and then bought a hammer at a local hardware store. Kang went to the victim's house, walked into his home, which was unlocked. The victim was walking out of his bedroom when he was confronted by Kang, who hit him on the head with a hammer. The two struggled as the victim called for help. His stepfather responded and helped to restrain Kang until police arrived. Damn.
Wow.
That is some angry nerds.
That's messed up. And yeah, those are some angry nerds. Did you ever play video games, Josh?
A little bit.
What was your game of choice?
I'm a normal like kid. I liked all the Grand Theft Autos. I was big into that. I like this I like these games, Command and Conquer. Did you ever play that?
No.
What
system was that?
It's a computer game. It's real nerdy.
Okay.
It was one of those it was like SimCity but with war, right? So you like build a base and then you build like your army. I loved it. Command and Conquer Red Alert, Command and Conquer Tiberian Wars. I had it all. Yeah, I'm into chess. I like computer games. Shut up. So, and I played that. And you basically like create an army and then you attack other armies.
Marshall, did you play video games?
Solitaire, I think, was a big one for me.
Wow.
No, not really.
I was going to say that doesn't count. I loved, big fan of like the NBA Lives and then the NBA 2Ks. Like I loved that. That was my jam. But like in the origins of my gaming, I loved a game called Crash Bandicoot.
Of course.
I don't know if
you and my wife.
You and my wife. She also loved Crash Bandicoot?
Loved.
Wow, I loved it on the original PlayStation. Shout out. We need that PlayStation money. By the way, remember when we used to like grovel for people to pay us and we stopped that like a year ago because people told us to stop doing that? I want to bring that back.
Why? We're crushing.
Okay, never mind. I'll just fade back into the distance. And
I had an idea for our reviews, though. The morons
What-
should leave when you leave your 5-star positive review, please.
Yes.
Include your ailment. Let us know what yours is.
Love that. That's fun.
Yeah.
People are going to be really confused. 5 stars. I love this podcast. I have emphysema.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it. IBS queen from Sarasota.
That's funny. I love that, Marshall.
Love it.
love
Great
that.
idea. Yes, 5 stars. Although I will say, Marshall, someone on a SpeakPipe complained that they weren't like, because we didn't get reviews for a couple weeks, like that there was something like they weren't allowed to leave a review.
Oh,
I mean, is Apple gatekeeping us? What the frick?
I haven't heard of this, but
Well,
we'll be looking into it.
give a call to Tim Cook, would you please?
Yeah. At Good Guys
Timmy
HQ.
C.
Should we get to a SpeakPipe?
Yeah.
Love that. Let us talk to Hunter. Let us talk to Hunter.
Hey, what's up, Josh and Ben? My name's Hunter. I live in Colorado, but I'm originally from New Jersey. My question is, what's New York's beef with New Jersey? I think it really comes down to driving and people from New Jersey coming over into Manhattan, not knowing how to fucking drive in the city, and people from the city coming to New Jersey and not knowing how to drive anywhere but the city. But yeah, wondering if you guys had any thoughts on why there's so much interstate hate. But at least we can agree on one thing. We all hate Pennsylvania. Have a good one, guys.
Hunter, cute.
Okay. First of all, Hunter, fantastic. These are-
Marshall
these
wants
are
your
the guys
number,
we need.
Hunter.
Yeah.
What?
I heard you back there. Marshall was like, Hunter.
Hunter, fantastic.
Called out.
Okay. Hunter, though, I have 2 thoughts. One, yes, any out-of-state drivers driving in a state that's not theirs, we automatically want to kill. Like if I see a Maryland plate in New York, I want to take the Glock from my center compartment, hop out, and shoot him right in the head.
Yikes.
That said, yeah, a little strong. I don't own a Glock. That said, I think that the hate from New York comes from our elitist attitudes that nobody can be better than us. And it's a very, very close neighboring state, and they have beautiful big backyards, and we have tiny city apartments, and there's something just about that feud. That said, when you do drive over and pay that toll, Josh, sometimes I think it's somewhere in Secaucus, it starts to smell like absolute shit. So I think that's also a reason why New Yorkers don't like Jersey, because we say that it's smelly.
Yeah, anybody who has beef with New Jersey is nuts. New Jersey gets a bad rap. It's the Garden State for a reason. It's incredibly green. It's incredibly wonderful. Yes, I'm defending it because I'm from there, but well, my whole family's from there. And yeah, the Jersey Shore rocks. New Jersey's great. Obviously, it goes without saying New York is great. Any sort of interstate beef, get over it. Hunter, feel free to DM our great Marshall. No, I'm kidding. Our next one is from, and this is going to be good. I already know it. And it's from Anonymous.
What's up, morons? Yes, you guys are also morons because you're your own biggest fans. So I work in education, and we're having an end of the year luncheon hosted by our assistant superintendent and 2 directors who, for background information, are all narcissistic, egotistical, incompetent assholes. And we have a mandatory meeting from 10 to 12, and then they go, oh, we're going to have a luncheon afterwards. That's the first what are you nuts, because I don't want to have lunch with you f***s. The second what are you nuts is we're not being invited to lunch. If you want to eat at the luncheon that they're making us go to, you have to pay $15 to eat lunch. What are you nuts? Either don't have a lunch, in which case I'd go out to lunch with the people I actually want to go out to lunch with, or pay for my lunch. Come on, that's nuts.
Totally.
Nuts. Totally with you. It's completely nuts. It's like the guy that over 30 has you come to his house and for a birthday party and then charges you $30 for alcohol. Rare, but I've seen it done. And that's just like, don't have a party. Don't have a party. Don't do it. Don't have a lunch. Don't do it.
Nuts.
If you're inviting me to lunch, It's free.
Couldn't agree
Nuts.
more. I love how angry you are at your coworkers. I'm sure that's only going to manifest itself in funny and bad ways in years to come. Keep calling in.
Okay, my what are you nuts is something that not nearly enough people are talking about. Josh, I'm sure that you have gotten many of a request from a wonderful teacher asking you to clear their list recently, right? Because it's that time of year. And every year I'll get, I don't know, at least 100 DMs from teachers asking me to clear their list. And for people that don't know, that is a list of supplies that they would like to purchase for their class that we are funding because the school doesn't and the government doesn't. And that is my fucking what are you nuts? These teachers make no money. They make no money. They want to buy something cool for the kids. There should just be like a pot of money, a slush fund for these teachers to not have to come to us to clear their lists. It's so crazy. It's so sick. It's the definition of what are you nuts?
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. I think that there's a lot of virtue to that. I think you're talking truth to power, and my what are you nuts is right aligned with that, and that's men in open-toed shoes. What are you nuts? Hey, guys, put those dogs away. I don't want to see those hectic cuticles. It looks like you've been tilling the field with your toes. Ugh, enough. And you know what? And shout out to a lot of people in my life who are men who wear thong shoes. I'm not with it. Cover those puppies up. Put on Air Max when you're at the beach. Swim in water shoes. I don't want to see man feet ever. I just don't.
Now, for those of you, I heavily disagree. Now, for those of you that are looking for a nice open-toed shoe, I have two recommendations, okay? The first is, if you like the traditional Havaiana, thong, whatever, I highly recommend that you take a look at a Reef. The brand Reef, they're old school. You go to the beach.
Yeah, check out some cargo shorts while you're at it.
They're fantastic. Second is, and this is a little bit harder to find, I found a Birkenstock copycat.
Oh, here we go with the notes, the fakakta notes.
No. Now, Birkenstock copycat at Target, $9.99. They're blue and they're rubber.
I have them.
And they are, you have them. And you're complaining about men with open-toed shoes. Or what do? What are you, one of those guys where you wear socks? What are you, nuts? That should be the what are you, nuts? Wearing open-toed shoes with socks.
I wear them in the gym locker room because I'm not disgusting. No, I don't wear them with socks. I wear them if I want to into the schwitz. When I see people with their bare foot in the schwitz, I go, that is Wart City waiting to happen. You're nuts.
It is.
You're nuts.
It is. I've actually, this is TMI and then we'll hop off. I've had a wart on the bottom of my foot for a couple months now. I haven't dealt with it. It's not growing. It's sedentary, but it's there.
You know what you're going to have to do? I've had this done.
Wart removal?
You're going to have to go to the podiatrist. I tried. You can get the at-home remedies. They don't work. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can do it like you're living on the plains. Okay? You can do a little pioneer medicine. Put duct tape over it, but you're going to have to put duct tape over it for like weeks on end. You're going to have to starve it from air. You starve the wart. You starve it. You suffocate the wart. And eventually, hopefully, it falls off. Not going to work. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go in to the doctor, and the podiatrist is going to numb around it. Then she's going to shave it. She's going to shave it off. It's so gross. With a blade.
Or freeze it.
She's going to freeze it, then shave it. And then, you ready for this? Because it's not going to go away.
She's going to eat it?
She's going to give you a prescription for a cream that you're going to have to put on for months, maybe a couple weeks. And you're going to look up that cream, and you know what it's going to come up positive for? Chemo. It's chemo cream. It's literal chemotherapy cream that, because basically a fungus is what? A fast-splitting cell, the way that cancer is a fast-splitting cell that wants to multiply, that wants to grow, and so you need to curb it. I literally brought that prescription to my local Rite Aid. They were like, this is going to be $9,000. I was like, I'll live with the wart. And they were like, oh, no. But they're like, that's for the big size. Like, we found one for $90. But I was like, sheesh.
Wow. All right. So I'm fucked with this wart.
No, but you gotta get on it.
I gotta go get it.
I just had
taken
one
care of.
removed like 2 weeks ago, and my dermatologist said, "Who have you been kissing?" Because it was like near my mouth. And I was
Really?
like, and I could have listed, the like 18 people, but I was just like, I don't know.
You keep a list?
No, I'm kidding. And then he says, quote, maybe this is my Whatty Nuts. He says, if you kissed me, I wouldn't get a wart.
What the hell?
Straight up said that to me in his office. This was our first time ever meeting. I think that's like
If you-
not okay.
No,
or legal.
no, we're literally gonna hop off this podcast and sue his ass. I'm
Hold
so
on.
down.
Hold on. Is he a babe? I mean, Marshall, you could marry a nice doctor.
Not my type. Took the wart away. So yeah, that's my Whatty Nuts, I guess.
Holy
Interesting.
smokes!
Just reminded me. Yeah.
Well,
Take us
Folks,
away,
that's
man.
our show. That's our show, folks. If anybody's doctor tries to kiss him, call the cops. Call the cops. This episode was 5 stars. They all are, but this one really was. Rate it 5 stars. It's what we deserve. Marshall's going to look into, if you haven't been able to, try again. Try again. I'm sure that you can. I'm sure that you are just doing it wrong. You are typically the problem, not us, okay? You heard that. You, not us. Listen, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, watch us on Josh's YouTube. You got to watch us. We're so much more animated. You got to see my mangina. Otherwise, you can't see my mangina if you're listening.
but
You just
I
have to
sure can
imagine
in
it.
yikes.
You just have to imagine it. You want to see it to believe it? It's here, folks. It's breathing. It's alive. And watch us Mondays and Thursdays. We'll see you next time.